ScriptlyAdapted presents our Father's Day special. This is a great month for all of us. It's Father's Day, and Father's Day month, and we're here to celebrate good feel-good movies that represent fathers and daughters, or fathers and sons, or just just an overall powerful, strong father male figure. Lots of going on in the past weeks with my father, and I'm just thankful that I'm here today to be able to bring to you something that's heartwarming and feels good to talk about.
Yeah, and I think we're both grateful for having great fathers in our lives, both of whom have taught us a lot, and share our passions and creativity as well. So we're here to pay tribute to them and talk about fathers and their kids.
Yeah. So Kate.
Yeah.
Give me your feel-good Father's Day movie, please.
Sure will. It's this gem.
It
right here.
touches my heart. I love it.
This movie was one of the best movies I have ever seen, Disney movies. It's a Goofy movie made by Walt Disney. I actually saw it with my dad in the theaters. Dad, you probably don't remember this.
Wow.
And it's only 78 minutes.
That's 78-minute movie.
Yeah,
wow.
But this is a feel-good movie. It's, for your lovable Disney character, Goofy. What he does is, and I think the title is a really clever play on words, he decides to take his son Max on a road trip. Camping trip. His son Max is a typical teenager, doesn't want anything to do with his father. He's interested and hung up on this girl. He's trying to make a good impression on her. And the last thing he wants to do is go away for the weekend with his annoying dad.
I remember those days.
As the movie goes on, you see the first clip of them going to the camping site, and they're in the car. And he's trying to make him laugh, and he's telling all these funny stories and, saying jokes, and Max wants nothing to do with him. He ignores them, I think, probably puts his headphones in.
I feel bad for Goofy at this point.
Yeah, really it's sad because, you kind of are like, oh, he's trying his best,
But he is a bit goofy.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy is...
And as the movie goes on, they bond, and there's this whole concert that Max has to take part in to win this girl over, and he really bonds with his dad, and it's a really, when you talk about feel-good movie, I mean most Disney movies are, but when you talk about feel-good movie, this really, as you can see, Poltergeist is in the house. But it's a really feel-good movie. They really bond a lot, and it's just funny, it's dynamic, the characters are really complex, and they make you connect with them, even though they're cartoon characters.
And even though, like you said, even though it's a cartoon, at the end of the movie, it goes back to, something that would go on in today, with just regular, normal human beings, and a father and son in that case.
Yeah.
Just coming together, enjoying each other's time, appreciating each other. That's what that movie really... all the, stood for everything that I just said. Standing, coming together, appreciating each other, loving each other, taking the time to know each other. Because that was a major part in that movie where they didn't know each other.
Even and not just Max with Goofy, but Goofy with Max. But I think parents sometimes tend to forget that what it's like to be a kid.
Right.
Because you have to grow up so fast. Time goes by so fast, and before you know it, you're in the real world and working and paying bills, and you forget what it's like to be innocent and be a kid. And I think he needed to be less of a parent and be more of a companion and help his son.
But also, Kate, don't you think that maybe because I also got the feeling that Goofy was being less of a parent and more of a companion. Do you think that it was because? Do you think that was an issue at all? Like, do you think that's why Max didn't really?
Oh, you mean beforehand?
Do you think there needed to be a good balance?
Well, I think there needed to be a balance, but I think what I say that is trying to get to know your child in the sense of connecting with them on things that they're interested in. I think Goofy was trying too hard to make his son like him. And, you can't take it personally. I mean, teenagers are teenagers. They're going to behave the way they're going to behave.
Exactly.
And they'll grow. One scene where they actually got there and they finally pitched the tent. And I think it's very vague, but he said something that really upset his father or something like that. And I think Max walked out of the tent or something, and Goofy just curls up and tries to go to sleep, and it's just this sad expression on his face. But as the movie goes on, you see them really bond, and you see them really develop a father and son relationship.
Because, there's certain events that happen before they get to that bonding period that helps them get to that bonding period that brings them together towards the end.
I think one of them was catching fish.
Catching fish
in the river, like how bears catch the salmon, like something like that.
Yeah, and I believe, great messages for a Disney movie, especially, back in the day. I think what year was that? Maybe 94, maybe.
Yeah, I think
maybe
so.
Around early mid 90s, possibly, and for a Disney movie, for a cartoon movie, it just brings a lot of little fun issues that parents deal with their kids every day, as far as being embarrassing and all that stuff. And it just brings it into a funny medium as far as a cartoon is concerned,
He's now formed a new relationship with his father, which is really important. So it's one of my favorites, all-time favorites. I have it on DVD. I will always love this movie. Sometimes I watch it just for the fun of it.
That's a great pick.
Tell me what your favorite pick is for father feel-good movie.
Well, Kate, listen. One of my favorite movies of all time. Probably my top 20, maybe top 50 movies. Father of the Bride.
Yes, I love that movie.
Steve Martin, a comedic genius. Diane Keaton, icon. And Martin Short, who brings that other side of the comedic.
Yeah,
he brings that to the table.
Frank,
he plays Frank. I have to say, Kate, it's one of those great feel-good father-daughter movies.
Yeah.
It just, it's one of those movies you can, watch on a Sunday and just and you're just relaxing and you just feel good about the, what's going on. The story is just so warm.
Right.
And it just brings you in. It captures you. Steve Martin is just a genius as far as, as far as a person watching the film and warming up to his character or anybody he plays. He just has a presence about him that allows that. It's about his daughter getting married. And his daughter is, daddy's girl all the way. She's grown up. She's moved out the house. She met a nice young man. She comes to bring him back to meet the father, and it hits him that he's losing her.
Right.
And the movie's just basically coming to terms with your kids growing up and starting their lives, and not to forget that you will always be their parent, but now they have a significant other or a loved one that they are also in love with and they want to be with and start families with, and that's that's basically what the movie is about. It's just a feel good, heartwarming movie.
Also an internal struggle, as it was with Goofy. I think it's an internal struggle with Steve Martin's character, and I think he's struggling, like you said, trying to let her go because he wants the best for her. Obviously, he wants her to be happy. There's one scene that I absolutely love.
I think I know which one.
I don't know if it's from this one or from the second one, but it's where she's shooting the hoops.
It's from this one.
Yeah,
from the first one.
And you have like the little girl actresses that portray her throughout time.
That is my favorite scene.
Best, well done scenes. I mean, it's great because it really shows him, and he's just looking at an empty hoop. I mean, obviously she's not really there, but he's reminiscing and he's being nostalgic. And it's a real touching, heartwarming scene. Kimberly Williams Paisley is a great actress, and they had such great chemistry on camera.
No, her and Steve Martin have a great relationship on camera. Their characters are, the way they portray their characters to each other, it just is so natural. Yeah. And it just helps further the realness of the story. And I really enjoyed it. Diane Keaton, I love Diane Keaton.
She's so classy and everything.
One of those just good old American films about an American family, a middle class family that just do well and they just live a great life and they just have a great family structure. It's about also family structure. Right. And how, in a family structure, you have your parent, your mother, the kids, and how there is respect amongst that. Nowadays you see films that struggle to still show that that part of the family structure. But in this, you really get it. It's just a straight-on connection with all their characters in the film. One of my favorites, and I enjoyed it.
It was great, and I think it was so great for it to have a sequel as well, because I think, the second movie was just quickly to graze it was about her getting pregnant. So it's
and the
really,
mother. And
and the mother at the same time.
Diane
So it
Keaton's
was
character
really
gets pregnant
showing,
as well.
but it was still focusing. It's called Father of the Bride Part 2, obviously, but it's still showing the relationship between Steve Martin and Kimberly Williams Paisley and their characters.
Right.
Even though there's more added to the mix.
But also, adding to that, because it is a Father's Day special, that film, since you bring it up, also showed me that the joy of fatherhood, the joy of becoming a father,
That's
the joy
true.
of, you know, Steve Martin's character was nervous in that one as well.
Right.
And he finally realizes he's going to be a father again, and how to cope with that.
Yeah.
How to come to terms with that. And it just shows that, as he progresses in the film and as he, starts to really accept it, you see that he's really happy about it. And it's just nothing but joyful.
It's a classic movie.
Classic
It's going to
movie.
go down in
Classic
history.
movie.
Before we go, we wanted to share with you our father's favorite picks.
My dad's favorite pick is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Clint Eastwood at his finest. Spaghetti Western at its finest. One of the great films of all time. If you haven't seen The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, definitely see it. That's my dad's pick. That's my dad's favorite movie.
Mine is, one of his, is Gosford Park. All-star cast. I mean, Clive Owen,
Absolutely.
Helen Mirren, Maggie Smith.
I forgot Clive Owen was in
Yeah,
that.
I mean, hell of a cast. Brilliant movie. That's one of my dad's favorite movies. We just wanted to share those with you.
Happy Father's Day, dads.
Yes, happy
We love
Father's
you very
Day.
much.
Take care.
Thank you for enjoying another installment of Scriptly Adapted. Our next show, the big 10th show coming up. We have big things for the 10th show, a big movie to do for the 10th show, and maybe a guest. Who knows? We'll see.
Stay tuned. That's the only way you're going to find out.
See ya,
Adios,
guys.
guys. Bye.
Bye.